Greetings, everybody who out there. Merry meet and blessed be. So, yesterday evening, I shot a live video. I went live and was talking about um, the Christian Unity and the Christian Unity's corporate elite. And so, I would like to touch base on a few more subjects of that because it goes deeper. Um, I'm going to talk about a faction of the Christian unity that very few people are really aware of, have knowledge of, and you know don't really talk about it because they're really, really, really dark and they're really, really secret. And again, with history and everything, the settling of this country from Europeans and stuff. Um, that embrace the canon law. Um, so um, they have their tentacles or webs out into every aspect of the government. Um, and there's a faction out there that exists that is part of the Christian power, the Christian, ruling power. And their primary objective is to secure and to put in place, um, to manifest Christians' claims of evil movements, you know. Um, and so um, I'd like to talk a little bit more about this. Now, um, within my workings and spiritual investigations uh, through ethereal, traveling or remote viewing is what basically the pseudo-scientific word for it is. Um, I I I don't know the name of this organization because it really doesn't have a name. Um, so I haven't been able to find out like the faction's name. Um, and they and I haven't been able to connect with direct individual bodies, so to speak, um, or minds, people involved in this. All I do is pick up on the energies and the motives of those energies, the existence of those energies, and the purpose of those energies. So this faction really does exist, um, and their objective is to secure um, the Christian Unity's claims of satanic organizations, devil worshiping, etc. Now, in some of my past videos and stuff, um, I've that's dated quite far back. Um, I I talk about the difference between the Illuminati and the Freemasons, etc. Um, these are factions of Christianity that are labeled uh, in a similar way. They are labeled to be the bad guys, the evil, the satanic, and all that stuff. Um, the creators or the designers behind the one world order and one world government, one world religion, and stuff like that. When in all reality, um, it's actually mirroring uh, the motives of Christianity within itself, because Christianity has, in all of its existence, has tried to conquer the world and dominate the world with their religion and make the world a one world government. Um, and the Mormon Church, they're, they're not shy in regards to admitting this. That's their motive. That's their belief, is that they're going to be this one world Christian religion and one world government. Um, but so everything that the the quickest way to making a long story short is everything that the Christian unity, and when I say unity, that's all denominations. Remember, it's a collective, purpose here, collective consciousness here. Um, all their claims and accusations uh, in regards to other religious beliefs, other spiritual movements, and stuff like that, everything that they label them and claim that their purpose and what they're trying to do, it's a mirror. So everything that they point their finger at, they've got three fingers pointing back at them, because they are twisting their motives and their accusations, you know, to the point to where they have to have an scapegoat. So this faction that I was talking about, okay, their duties, their obligations is to manifest these claims. So what do I mean by that? So for an example, okay, all right. So a lot of people go missing. A lot of people, um, you know, um, are children and stuff. They don't find their actual bodies, but they find you know DNA or different things and what have you stuff. There sometimes they do find their bodies and stuff, but then they make sure that they have makeshift occult items, metaphysical items, you know, um, that would um, connect with their claims of satanic rituals and sacrifices and different things and stuff, everything from animals to children, etc. In all reality, none of the practitioners in Wicca, witchcraft, paganism, stuff like that, partake in any type of like human sacrifices, etc. And those people who are true Satanists, and and know the Satanic Bible, know, you know, um, they don't even participate in stuff like that. You get some, you know, self-proclaimed Satanists that have some issues and what have you and stuff, with power and control and over their followers and stuff like that. And Jim Jones is a good one example for an example and stuff like that. These are people who don't really, you know, conform to the actual practice of like satanic rituals and different things and stuff like that. Um, and then you even have some self-proclaimed witches that practice more of a left-handed satanic path, calling themselves witches, who partake of such rites too as well. In all reality, anybody who has studied, truthfully, honestly, has studied, and and not just the practice, but the history and the connection with Mother Earth and everything and stuff, they don't participate in any type of like ritual sacrifices like that whatsoever. So, um, and this is all done with subliminal messages. This is it's so complex, the the how they um, manipulate people, you know, um, that I mean, it's really dark. It's really, really, really dark. And for an example, just for an example, okay? I mean, um, so like when I grew up, religion was a real conflict for me growing up, um, because you know, um, there's a lot of hypocrisy. You know, you go to church on Sunday, but every day, every other day of the week and what have you stuff, it's just living a hypocrisy. And so there's just a lot of confusion and frustrations for people growing up into that type of, lifestyle. And, you know, um, it, it causes a lot of confusion, within people that a lot of times they just break. They have a nervous breakdown. They stress out, whatever, and they just explode and make some really bad choices in life. And this is designed that way. It's designed that way, and because again, it gives them an scapegoat to point their fingers and stuff. And so this is this is all this chaos, all this big picture and stuff has been designed and mastermind and put in place and stuff, to keep, you know, um, the Christian Unity and the Christian Unity corporate elite in power and control, and keeping the people slaved. So I just thought I would just follow up on a video on that and stuff. And so anyway, but blessed be. I hope this is educational. Thank you. Have a good night. Blessed be. Greetings, everybody. Merry meet and blessed be. So this is a continuation from the last video in regards to the dark factions of Christianity. Um, so this I explained how this faction is really webbed in deep, um, in um, conducive with Christianity and how it works, and how it um, it attempts to secure the Christians' fear of the evil of Satan, of the devil, of you know um, and they partake in some very um, horrifying acts against citizens and humanity, etc. But not only that, even through just manipulation and stuff. And some of these faction members, um, you know, um, are somewhat on a lower level, so to speak, or different. How would you put it? Um, just a different part of the process. Say, for an example, Mel Gibson. Okay, this is a good example, and it's a factual example. So, um, I was pretty young when Road Warrior first came out. I was a teenager. It was one of my favorite movies, and Mel Gibson became one of my favorite actors. And um, I, you know, and then when Braveheart came out, I'm really partial to my ancestry, my Scottish and Irish ancestry, and so this movie was very, very touching to me. And in the beginning of the movie and stuff, he and at this time, I'd already embraced witchcraft slash Wicca as my spiritual path of life and way of life. And and then when this movie first came out, for those of you who have seen the movie, Um, there's an introduction where a narrative is being taken place in the movie, and it's talking about um, William the First, the King of England, William the First, or they call him William the Longshanks, and and they mention him as being pagan. Well, when you research William Longshanks or William the First, and you research some historical facts and fact checked that that accusation, um, you find out that he wasn't pagan at all. He was Christian. And so Mel Gibson was a producer and the director of this movie. And so, and the, but he was not the original author of the book that he was going off of. And I guess him and the author of the book actually had some disagreements and stuff because the author didn't like how he, some changes that he made in the book, or anyway, in the movie compared to the book. And that, I don't know all the details behind that, but that could be definitely one of them. So, Mel Gibson being an agent to the Christian Unity, because the Christian Unity corporate elite, you know, the movie industry, Hollywood, made him famous, you know. So, you know, he's he's going to he's not going to bite the hand that feeds him. Okay. So, you know, after I found that out and found the truth behind that, Mel Gibson's, impeccability and integrity just went down the toilet with me. I just, I lost all due respect for him. And he's a liar and he's a coward, in my eyes now. Uh, and so, um, you know, it, um, it's agents like this, these agents of the Christian Unity and stuff that manipulate and deceive people into believing this, believing other religions and what having stuff are evil, when in all reality, again, we have the mirror effect where every time they point a finger at a, you know, a belief system other than their own, and they criticize it and they dogmatize it, bastardize it, they got three fingers pointing back at them, So they're always, you know, far more guilty of partaking in such accusations, you know, than the people that they're, the organized, the belief systems or whatever and stuff that they oppose, So, and another example too, as well, is, you know, um, you have this organization, a good, example of what having stuff would be like, you know, um, child trafficking, sex trafficking, stuff like that. Well, you know, um, a lot of this is believed to be actually promoted and operated by government officials. And, so um, like Epstein's, um, the list contains a lot of politicians, a lot of, important people, really rich people, politicians, movie stars, etc. Nobility in other countries, noble people, noble bloodlines. So, um, but the thing about it is nobody's going to really honestly know how accurate that list is, because there's just ain't no integrity and impeccability of honesty within our government system. And remember, there's no separation of church and state when it comes to government operations. It's the Christian Unity is a government, and the Christian Unity's corporate elite, you know, is its, you know, uh, system of maintaining power and manipulating the people and stuff like that. So, um, this shadow uh, faction within the Christian Unity, it, you know, governmental operations as well as um, their industrial elite, you know, um, corporate elite is for real, you know. Another example of having stuff is uh, happened in, like I said before, I was raised in a Mormon family, and I remember um, it was just after I got married, and I wasn't active in the church anymore, but I was down visiting my mom and stuff, and at that time I had my one, my first daughter, and she was about like 2 years old and stuff, and we went over to visit. My wife and I went over to visit my mom, you know, my ex-wife, and um, went over just to visit and associate and stuff like that. And my mom, she mentioned, hey, you know, you want to make sure that you know, keep a good eye on your daughter and everything and stuff like that, because they just discovered, uh, you know, a home with a bunch of satanic books and stuff like that, you know, and come to find out, um, uh, and that was in our in my ward growing up, my mom's ward, and come to find out it was actually the house of a lady that used to board her horse in our pasture outside of town, and um, they said that they had found animal sacrifices in there and stuff, a couple cats and dogs and everything and stuff like that. Well, what's really funny is down the street from that house, I have a cousin who we got talking about it and stuff like that. And he mentioned, he says, what's really weird is he, I ain't going to mention his name, but a couple members of the ward's bishopric, you know, council, um, had those animals in bags, taking them into the house. So they were just basically stage setting these animal sacrifices and stuff. And so they may have found the books, but to make the situation more dramatizing and stuff, they I don't know if they killed the, you know, they unalived the animals themselves or what, but the bags were bloody. And so my cousin says, this is really weird, man. Something doesn't seem right, you know. But anyway, so you know, just trying to educate you and to bring up your awareness a little bit more and stuff, you know, about you know, the forces that be that we're dealing with. Thank you. Bless me. Greetings, merry meet and blessed be everybody. So here is a video that I'm going to be posting so you can listen through it all the way and stuff. This is a good example of exactly what I'm talking about in regard to these Christian unities, secret shadowy factions that promote uh, satanic involvement and stuff like that, what they call satanic involvement, so to speak. Um, they play the part of the devil, so to speak. All right. Um, now, um, these claims of these children and stuff like that, um, within my spiritual research, you know, that I mentioned before in a previous video and stuff, um, I've never been able to actually find any validity to these claims whatsoever. It's all just propaganda. It just like Mel Gibson in Braveheart claimed that Edward Longshanks was a pagan, an evil pagan, when in all reality, in historical facts, Edward the First or Edward the Longshanks was actually Christian. So I'm going to go ahead and let you check out this video and stuff. And this is the fear tactics and what I mean stuff that the Christian Unity puts out to the people. And this is their ability to control any forces that oppose their power and control, their corrupt power and control and enslavement of the people, so they can keep their sheeple under control and under their will.
For the right day and time to make this video. I've been praying for the Holy Spirit right now to give me the words to say, because what I'm going to say is going to affect a lot of people. It's very graphic, but it needs to be discussed, because everything that's happening right now, the operation at hand and all the information coming out about the tax-paying dollars that you're giving away, it all comes back to this: the missing children and what they're being used for. If you're not familiar with adrenochrome, I highly urge you to do some research on it. But just to kind of fill you in on what it is, it's the blood of normally a 15-year-old child or younger, and it's being used by the celebrities, it's being used by the elites, the cabal, Hollywood. It's been used for a long time for anti-aging benefits and whatever health benefits they think they get from it to get a high. Before I show you guys some other things, everyone that questions this and says it's not real, here's the U.S. patent for adrenochrome. And this is just one of thousands upon thousands of articles about someone using adrenochrome. In fact, a tech mogul uses their 17-year-old son's blood in an effort to stay young. You're probably wondering, how do they get the blood? What do they do? Well, first of all, it's crazy to believe that a liter costs $2.2 billion, and it takes 100 children to get a liter of adrenochrome. In order to get that blood, you got to have fresh adrenal glands, right? You got to have the fear put into the kids. Well, how do you get the fear in the kids? You torture them. So they torture kids, electrocution, you name it. It's pretty graphic. Remember that frazzle drip, that video I made? Yeah, so the higher the fear, the higher the more fresh the adrenal glands, the more fresh the blood, and the higher they get. Probably wondering what it takes to get the adrenochrome, to buy it. I couldn't tell you how to buy it, but it costs $2.2 billion for a liter, and it takes 100 children to make a liter. My friends, they torture these children, because when you torture someone, what happens? Fear makes your adrenaline go up. The higher the adrenaline, the more fresh the blood. So they use electrocution. They use many satanic, demonic ways to scare these children and drain the blood. And thankfully, we have a president who actually in 2012 put out a tweet that says, got to do something about these missing children grabbed by all these perverts. Too many incidents. Fast trial, death penalty. And I got to tip my hat to John Rich for being brave and putting this out today. You think they're melting down now? Just wait until we start learning about the tax dollars used to traffic children all over America and the world. This is just getting started, folks. We're not even 1 inch in on a mile-deep tar pit of wickedness. All of this comes back to the children. Enough is enough. God's children are not for sale, and it's time to give justice to all these demonic people.